Sutton. And I was actually just taken back by your artwork. I really enjoy the Elvira stuff.
Right.
And you worked on like Conan as well? Or,
No.
Just
Edgar Rice Burroughs,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. The Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff I've been doing for like the last 6 years. And the Elvira comic I was drawing for 9 years. And then in between I've done a zillion other things. So,
Oh, wow.
my first stuff was actually published in early 1970s.
What was your first comic?
Well, I had a few strips published in various small magazines and things, and then I actually moved to the States for a while, and I was ghost penciling pages for Howard Chaykin for Sword of Sorcery, which was the DC comic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I ghost pencil pages, and I inked a ton of pages as well, and all anonymously, except I hid my initials in the last page of number 3.
So you try to sneak it in there?
That's it. You can find it in the issue number 3, in the last page, the last panel, is a sword being thrown, and my initials are on the sword.
Oh, that's cool.
So that, and then I did some stuff for Orb magazine in the 1970s, and then just since then I've
Orb
been
is that Sky Wall?
No, it was a Canadian independent newsstand comic book. It was Gene Day and I don't know, a ton of different Canadian guys, mostly. Yeah.
So are you living in Ottawa now? Or?
I've been here 30 years. I'm from Toronto.
I just moved from Toronto.
Oh, did you?
That's so funny. So, wow, that's really cool. It's cool that there's cool artists here. I'm still learning the Ottawa thing, and it's interesting to meet.
For sure.
So you worked on Elvira. Like I'm a big Good Girl collector. So that's
right.
But I love Elvira. Elvira is like my girl from I always think of those like midnight showings. Elvira, Mistress of the Night.
Mistress of the Dark.
Mistress of the Dark. Yes.
Well, it's funny because through the 70s I was drawing comics, and then the 80s I was doing an awful lot of magazine illustration, and then in the early 90s was when that big Bad Girl craze happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I ended up doing a lot of that stuff. A lot, and until I sent some samples into Claypool, and Richard Howell, who was the editor, contacted me, and I ended up drawing the Elvira comic book for 9 years. I did about 50 issues actually.
Wow. So you do everything from cover all the way through?
Well, it depends on the project. With the Elvira comic book, I was doing strictly pencils. They had other people inking. There was only one single story that I got to ink myself. Richard, who was the editor, liked to bring in different inkers, which are Bill Anderson and Kim Benolder and Terry Austin actually inked one.
So do you prefer to ink? Do you like to ink your own stuff? Or?
I started out and I was inking all my own stuff, and I kind of resented being turned into a penciler. But what I realized was it made my basic drawing that much better. And it was funny because I didn't draw girls very well. I got involved for a while in the animation industry, and I worked on the Savage Dragon animated TV series.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was doing key animation.
You've done some pretty cool stuff.
I have actually. But it was funny because most of what they had me drawing was She-Dragon. And,
I like She-Dragon.
yeah, and it was funny because, as I've always said, prior to that, it's like my drawings of women used to look like men with long hair and boobs, basically. And after working on She-Dragon, drawing tons and tons and tons of She-Dragon.
She's like, she's very like...
Well, my drawings of women got really good, really fast, and from that point on, all anybody was offering me were female vampire lesbian characters, right? And I just did one after the next, and then finally Elvira came along and saved me from a career of female lesbian vampires.
That's so funny.
So I did Elvira for 9 years, and my partner Janet Hetherington, she wrote it for 6 years as well.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah, so she would gear stories to things I like to draw. So.
Oh, that's nice that the writer's gearing it towards the artist. So
Absolutely.
So you also worked with Eric Larson, I guess?
Not him, no. I mean, the company I was working for, which was a Canadian animation company, they were sort of getting an offshoot of the work from the States, which I think was the USA Network. So no, I've actually never even met him.
So when you did the animation, was it like was it going into the computer realm, or how did it work?
Well, it was prior to computers, yeah. So it was all pencil work. You know. Yeah, I've got stacks of the stuff still.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun actually.
So, like, how do you feel about the whole digital age? Where
I have
are you more old? Are you more old school? Like, you gotta.
I'm as old school as you get.
Well, you were showing me when I first met you. The fact that you still use the.
Yeah, I mean everything I'm doing by hand, so I'm penciling, inking, hand lettering, and using old school Zipatone, which they barely even make anymore. So I actually have to order my Zipatone directly from Japan because nobody in North America even makes it anymore. But I just love the look of it, and I love the sort of classic, Alex Raymond and, Hal Foster kind of look of stuff. So.
I'm not familiar with this title. Like, can you tell?
Okay, well, Carson, it's an Ed Riseborough strip. And prior to this, I was doing The Man-Eater, which was a single novel by Ed Riseborough, and it was about a lion that was brought from Africa and sold to a circus and escapes during the circus train crashes during the middle of winter, and so this lion is running through the snow and stuff. Some great visuals. So it took me 150 weeks to finish the novel online, which is one strip every Saturday. I'm almost 150 weeks into Carson now. And Ed Riseborough, of course, is the guy that created Tarzan and wrote 20 odd books of Tarzan. But he also created John Carter of Mars, and that was another series. And Carson of Venus has always been my favorite. I've been wanting to draw Carson for literally 50 years.
I always like Deja Thoris.
Yeah, well, that's John Carter of Mars. One of the things that in the early 70s when I was living in New York, upstate New York with Wrightson, I knew Kaluta. I was a very, very big fan of his work already, and he was drawing the Carson of Venus strip, and so I was excited about that. And at the same time, they re-released all the paperbacks with Frazetta covers, so that was really exciting,
Cool.
So that really got me into the stuff, and this strip is, I'm actually the fourth artist to be working on it. I tried previously to get to work on it, and they turned me down, and for a whole lot of reasons. And so I actually created a whole bunch of samples in anticipation of when the next guy left.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like I said, I've been on almost 3 years and trying to stay on it a long time, hopefully.
That's really cool. So what's the story compared to John Carter of Mars?
It's not all that different. I mean, there's limitations, but I mean, he's basically an adventurer and dealing with princesses and bad guys. And it's just high adventure stuff, so I really like working on it.
And it's a different planet.
It's the planet Venus. Although it really doesn't resemble the planet Venus any more than Edgar Rice Burroughs' Mars resembles the real Mars,
I'm a big fan of John Carter.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay, yeah.
I actually even liked the movie.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I'm one of those rare people that like the movie.
Yeah, for sure there.
So that's very cool.
Yeah.
And so how much do you charge for your commissions?
My commissions are generally, commissions, as opposed to sketches. Sketches I charge generally about $100. Commissions I charge $400 to $500. I've actually been doing a series of commissions of Elvira for a guy out in Calgary, and he wanted Elvira commissions, but he also wanted it to be a crossover with the hilarious House of Frightenstein, the Canadian Billy Van TV series. And so I don't have a lot of time to work on commissions, but I'm having a lot of fun with those.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because I like that series.
You can do some random stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So actually, can you show that one that? I thought that was really nice. Both actually. Yeah.
I'm not sure which one you meant.
Yeah, just show both.
Well, this is a sketch piece that I'm working on. It's left over from the last convention, so I work on it a little today. And this is a blank sketch cover somebody asked me to draw. So they wanted Elvira with Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe, and I couldn't quite figure out what to do. So Janet suggested we'll put their heads in bottles, So that's what I did, and added Frankenstein and a werewolf as well, because it's Elvira in Monsterland. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's sort of fun. So I don't like doing a lot of this stuff because I like to spend my time working on the strips, and this stuff takes away from the strips. This is an interesting project I didn't work on too, though. This is really quite unique. I did this about 8 years ago. It's called Lucifer's Sword MC, Life and Death in an Outlaw Motorcycle Club. And it was written by a guy named Phil Cross, who's been a member of the Hells Angels since 1970. He's one of the original guys out in California with Sonny Barger. And so he wrote it, and it's basically, as I like to say to people, it's how he joined the Hells Angels with all the names changed to protect the guilty. So it was a pretty cool project. So.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, it's funny because it's not all that well written, but as I like to say, it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. It's not somebody telling you what they think it's like to be in a motorcycle gang. This is the guy, you know, telling you the real thing.
Experienced it.
Yeah, these are his real experiences. So.
It looks pretty crazy, some of the stuff that he's been up to.
Yeah, and this was the most unbelievable project. I think it was 4 months to draw 86 pages, pencil and ink, which meant I had to pencil and ink a page every 36 hours for 4 months in order to meet the deadlines.
So you're just like grinding it out, basically.
I was like getting up in the morning and starting to draw and putting down my pencil and going to bed, you know, the same thing. And the only time I took a break was when I was just so exhausted I had to take a day off. But then that meant that I had to get caught up, so then I had to get 2 pages done in 48 hours to stay on schedule. And I had to stay on schedule because there was a very substantial bonus if I met all the deadlines. And as a freelancer, I wasn't going to give up a substantial bonus.
That's important.
And it was actually funny because I actually ended up getting it done 4 days early because the final deadline was actually right in the middle of Fan Expo and I wanted to go to the convention, so I had to get it done before I went to the convention. So yeah, it was a real challenge because I don't draw motorcycles to begin with. So.
Oh wow! So it was like a learning curve too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? In terms of like, you know, do you have a website? Or like
yeah, well, I have
Instagram,
a website which is www.ronnsutton.com, and there's about 300 pieces of artwork there, and there's nothing to buy. There's just artwork to look at. And if you go to the Edgar Rice Burroughs website, they have a comics page, and every Saturday they post about a dozen new strips. It's not always the same dozen, but it's my Carson of Venus. They've got a John Carter of Mars. They have 2 Tarzan strips. It's about a dozen every single week. So, and I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. I post new artwork literally every single day. So.
Cool. So thank you.
Oh, sure.
For doing this, and bye everyone. And check out his stuff.
Thank you.